It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I was wandering the aisles of Tesco. I went down the beer aisle thinking, I'm getting a bit stuck now. I've done a lot of these versus battles with different countries, Portugal versus Spain, Japan versus China, all the different kind of beers that are there in 660 milliliter size bottles. And then I come across this and I thought, yeah, there's a video right there. This is CO beer and it's from Cyprus. 4.5% ABV, 630 milliliter bottle here, not a 660 milliliter. They're all they all change around with their bottle sizes. It's a bit like buying a bag of Doritos. You never know whether you're buying 180 grams, 150 grams or 220 grams. They change it all of the time. So you've got to be very careful with the milliliters and the grammage of your foods. But this is from Cyprus, proudly brewed on the island of Cyprus. I've not seen this beer. You used to see this in Morrison's about 7 years ago, but I've not seen it for a little while. And I thought, there's a video there because it's the Mediterranean, isn't it? It's Cyprus versus Spain with their Estrella Damm. And Bock from Portugal, which I really like. I really like Bock because it's brewed in Portugal. Incidentally, none of these beers here are brewed in the UK. So let's roll my sleeves up. I fancy this one today, I really do. And let's get these beers out into a glass and see what we get. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Let's get the C out then. A little bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. There we go. So we're pouring with a 3-finger white head, good levels of carbonation. It's an amber. A light amber liquid in the glass. Obviously it's clear, it's not unfiltered. Let's have a look at it. Let's get out the Estrella. Narrower bottle chimney on this one. It's have a look at that, it's quite narrow. I do like this bottle, 1876 original. Yeah, that glug, it's a slightly narrow neck on the bottle, so it's kind of almost struggling to pour the beer out, but it's left with that's a 2-finger white head on this one with good levels of carbonation. How does it fare to the colour of seal? They look exactly the same, don't they? Let's be fair. If anything, the Estrella is slightly darker. If ever I'm drinking a lager from the Mediterranean, I generally buy Bock. It's one of the last, there's the bottle cap, from Portugal. It's one of the last beers that is brewed in the brewery in Portugal and exported to the UK. Bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass. Doesn't that look good? two-finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation, definitely darker. I haven't even looked at the other two beers since I poured this one, and I'm going to say immediately, they've used a slightly darker malt here. I'm pretty sure of it. Let's get the two beers. This is Estrella. Yes, look at that. Good carbonation on the boat. Also, the carbonation on the Super Bock is smaller. And an old brewer once told me, the smaller the bubble, the better the beer. Let's offer up the Xiao. Kiao. The Super Bock definitely looks a little bit more refined, doesn't it? Right, let's quick aromas. Xiao, Kiao. Malt, grain. Wafer malt. Definitely an all malt lager. Estrella. A little bit sweeter. The Estrella's definitely a touch sweeter. Less grainy. Super Bock. Slightly drier in the aroma. With a little bit more of a hop character. It's definitely kind of edging towards being more of a sort of a German Helles or a German Pilsner in the aroma. Let's taste the key. How do you pronounce it? Key, is it Kio? Kio? Here we go. Ooh. I have had this beer before. I have reviewed it before, and I didn't like it. I was like, oh, what's that? It's actually quite nice. There's a bitterness in this beer that runs from start to finish. It's slightly astringent, but I quite like that. It's definitely more of a traditional hop that they've used in the beer, and they've used it quite well. It's just this nice kind of longing, bitter flavour that's bad. I'm going to go again straight away with that. Normally I just have one taste of each one, but I quite like the taste of this. I think I hammered this before in a rate, and I think I ripped it apart. I didn't give it a high rating at all, but this is better. Starts off with some sweetness, then some bitterness on the back end. Yeah, decent beer, that. Estrella Damm. Doesn't have the same bitterness as Kio. We picked up in the aroma of the Estrella that it was slightly sweeter. Now there's some bitterness coming through. Now, but it's definitely a sweeter, more malty take on a Mediterranean lager, if you like. All of these lagers are based on sort of German Helles, German Pilsners from way back when Germany was exporting beer all over the world. With their, of course, it was called export, wasn't it, back in the day? Export beer or export lager. Of course, these brewers in the countries this beer was exported to were like, hey, this we need to brew this too, and of course they did. They started the Estrella breweries and the Kios because Germany have been exporting beer all over the world for hundreds of years. They were the epicenter of lager. They really were. I'm racking my brain for the famous export German lager brewer back in the day that was exporting so much of this beer all around Europe, but it's left my mind. So the Estrella Damm then, a little bit sweeter, a little bit of a sweeter beer, a little bit of bitterness there, but not as bitter as the Kiel. Super Bock. Quite like that, but it's a strange one. This one is just going down well. I've not given the ABVs. I'll give the ABVs of the beer. The Kia was 4.5. I'll give the ABVs in a moment. I'm just thinking now that's important now because of the Super Box kind of like just doing everything slightly right. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly bitter. It's just really nicely balanced. Like with the Kia, I was picking out that it was bitter. With the Estrella, I was picking out that it was sweeter. But this beer is just kind of like sitting in between the two sweet bitter. It's just almost perfectly balanced. With a slightly, it's like stinging nettles, like lemon flavour coming from the hop. All good beers, but all slightly different. Let's give them a rating. I'm gonna try and knock out and find a winner here. They're all very good in their own right. Kia. No, I like that. Lemony now. And there's that bitterness. Right there. Yeah, I like the bitterness on this. This is the bitterness. ABVs. Kia was 4.5. Estrella's 4.6. Super Bock. Now it's always hard to find the ABV on Super Bock. 4.7. So they're all within 0.2% of each other. Estrella. I'm letting the Estrella go. I'm letting this go. It's slightly... Wow, there's a lot of beer in that bottle. Wow. So we'll chuck that over there then. And we'll say 7 out of 10 for the Estrella on this occasion. And I'm only dropping it out because on a personal experience for me, my taste buds always lean towards bitter beers. Always. So I'm always going to drop out something sweeter. I keep picking up the Kio. I just wish I could pronounce it properly. I keep going back to this beer. let's give the Super Bock a little bit more time. This is the thing with the 600 milliliter bottles. There's so much beer. Super Bock versus Kia. It kind of, again, it just sits in the middle. Super Bock, this particular batch of Super Bock, it's really nice. It's really smooth and really drinkable. It's not too sweet, it's not too bitter. It's just really well rounded. So it should win. The more well rounded a beer is, the more it should win. The more balanced the beer is, the more it should win. But I'm not going to give it the win. Because I like the bitterness and that sort of lemony flavour coming from the Kia. I'm going to give the Super Bock on this occasion, on this batch, in this brew, a 7 out of 10. And I'm going to give the Kia, which is the winner, it's rather good. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for the Kia. The Kia wins. It's available in Tesco. Give it a go. Imported to the UK by Venus Wine and Spirits Merchants Limited. So it's been brewed, product of Cyprus. So it's Cypriot water, Cypriot hops, Cypriot yeast and malt, I imagine. So the Super Bock's brewed in Portugal, and so is the Estrella brewed in Spain. So they're all kind of like from their own countries. It's not like we're drinking fake European but brewed in the UK stuff here. It's authentic stuff. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.